Okay, deep breaths here. I'll be very transparent with you and say that part of the reason I'm making this video is because I'm trying to fulfill my own prophecy here. You see, it is true that I like a lot of the Buffalo Sabres and their young guys. I'm sure a lot of y'all Sabres fans who have tuned into these videos are aware of that. You know I like talking about your prospects, I like going over your story and your guys, but this one is a very special one. Not because we haven't talked about him before. We've made a ton of videos about this goaltender. But because in this season's worth of play, I needed a goalie in fantasy, he was one of the last ones available, and I ended up taking Devon Levi in my Yahoo Sports League with a few other hockey YouTubers. Now, I have an interesting tandem of goalies. I've got Markstrom and I got Levi. This is because I waited pretty much until the halfway point of the draft to start taking goaltenders. The rest of my lineup is pretty interesting. I've got a lot of Canucks on there, and former Canucks too, so there's me putting my money where my mouth is, trying to become the champion of this league. I was first runner-up last year, lost in the finals, so hopefully the squad is able to come on top this year. But today's video is going over the second goalie I drafted, Devon Levi of the Buffalo Sabres. Now, you may be thinking right off the bat, Lego, why did you do that? Like, the Sabres have 3 goalies on their roster. Why would you think about taking Levi? There probably would have been some other guys available that probably would have had more games played, right? So why this guy? And to that, my friends, I wanted to say, because I am a believer, 100% believer in Devon Levi. You know who else I took on my fantasy team? I took Adam Fantilli, I took Logan Cooley, I took Leo Carlsson, I took a bunch of young guys just because I was like, yeah, these are going to be utility and bench people, so why not just go with the big swings instead of going with guys that actually did produce a pretty sizable amount of points last year in the Hockey League. But either way, what I wanted to do was go over Devon Levi and his path, how he has gotten to the NHL, and just go over an article, citing a few quotes and giving a few words as to how Levi has performed in the preseason. So, Devon Levi, 6 feet flat, 185 pounds, left-handed catching guy. You know the drill, he was a Florida Panthers guy. He was traded from Florida to Buffalo in the Sam Reinhart deal. And last season, playing for the Northeastern University Huskies, Levi had a .933 save percentage and a .224 goals against in 34 games played. Add to this a .905 save percentage in his 7 Buffalo Sabres game stint, and a .294 goals against over there, which is admittedly not the best showcase. I mean, sure, a .905 is not bad, but it's certainly not amazing. But you have to acknowledge that Levi looked so good in these games, and he went 5-2-0 in the sample from last season, so this is a guy that definitely has what it takes to win some hockey games at the NHL level. And then, of course, you have the preseason, wherein we did see Devon Levi actually look pretty good in how he was able to play. To help us out, we're going over onto this article published on apnews.com by John Warrow. This is from October 9th, so a few days ago. Sabres rookie goalie Devon Levi poised to make the giant step from college directly to the NHL. Let's read what this article has to say. By the way, a link is in the description if you want to read the full piece yourself. Devon Levi, at the end of last season, kept the team's faint hopes alive with his 5-2 record and .294 goals against. It was a steady performance in must-win situations, providing the Sabres management the belief that Levi can handle a bigger role on a team having playoff aspirations. I know it's a short sample, but I think what he showed is maturity. No stage is too big for him. He's prepared, GM Kevin Adams said. The article then does something interesting. It talks about how among NHL goalies, Boston's Jeremy Swayman and Florida's Spencer Knight came the closest to making the jump from college to the NHL. Swayman out of Maine combined to appear in 14 AHL games and 88 in the NHL, and Spencer Knight, a Boston College product, has appeared in 13 AHL games and 57 in the NHL. So it just goes to show you how rare it is for NHL players, nowadays at least, NHL goalies, to make that jump directly to the National Hockey League from college. Long gone are the days of the first overall goalies that make the NHL right away, or top 5 goalies that are immediately starters. The current era of goaltending around the sport is a lot more development-based, and you're not really going to see too many 18, 19, 20-year-olds make that jump right away. However, for Devon Levi, there is indeed some hope here. In Buffalo, the Sabres are prepared for their season opener against the Rangers on Thursday, still carrying 3 goalies rounded out by Comrie and UPL. Coach Don Granato has glowing praise for Levi in saying that he has qualities that reminded him of two former University of Wisconsin teammates, Curtis Joseph and Mike Richter. So yeah, two great names to be compared to if you're Devon Levi for sure. Cujo was an amazing athlete in flexibility, mobility, agility, and Richter was very cerebral. He was very methodical and very knowledgeable of the position itself, Granato said, and Devon Levi has both of those qualities. And if you wanted to take a conversation from NHL goaltending greats, this is what Martin Brodeur said about Devon Levi from last year. You can tell he's a kid that prepares himself well. I was watching his little habits. He's just got it down pat. He's fast-tracking this thing. Some kids are ready for it, others are not. The Sabres must think that Levi is ready. Now, there are a bunch of other really great comments from Levi himself talking about his transition, talking about his perspective in being an NHL player. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read more about that. But to end off this video, what I also wanted to do was take a look at the Daily Faceoff Frank Saravalli 32 bold predictions piece from a few days ago as well. This was published October 10th, and of course, I mean, the title, it says one very bold prediction that Connor Bedard is going to score 100 points in his epic rookie year. But in typical Saravalli fashion, he writes about all the teams, and he talks about guys he thinks are going to do well, players he thinks are going to bounce back, and if you scroll down to the 18th thought, and I said thought because I'm so used to 32 thoughts, but the 18th prediction on this list. Are you looking for a dark horse Calder Trophy candidate? If you think there's a chance Connor Bedard and Logan Cooley will cancel each other out, consider Sabres goalie Devon Levi. It worked out pretty well for Buffalo's last rookie netminder that completely skipped the NHL, as Tom Barrasso is being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in a few weeks. So there you go. Frank Saravalli is making a bold prediction that Devon Levi could even win the Calder Trophy this year. Now, these predictions don't really fit in with each other, like not all of them exist in the same timeline. I mean, look, the thought that he says that Logan Cooley and Bedard might cancel each other out, leaving Devon Levi to win the Calder, would directly contradict any sort of idea in his titular prediction that Connor Bedard is going to get 100 points. Like, if Bedard gets 100 and Cooley gets 100, there's no telling how good Devon Levi has to be to win that Calder Trophy. He's going to have to go Carey Price heart god mode if he wanted to best out Bedard, who's getting 100 points in a season. Like, not all these predictions are going to occur in the same timeline, but if you wanted to say that Bedard and Cooley may have a battle that's not won by either of them, maybe Devon Levi is the guy who is good enough to do that. Beating out Eric Comrie, beating out UPL, becoming the #1 guy, and winning me games on my fantasy team. Heck yes, baby. Jacob Markstrom was a steal, I feel, because I feel like the Flames are going to become better this season than they were last year. Last year was pretty much of a fluke, in my opinion. And then the Buffalo Sabres, I do believe in the Levi hype. I do want this guy to succeed. I am putting my money where my mouth is. And if you wanted to talk about the rest of my team, look, I'll tell you this just in one sentence, just how much faith I'm putting in my guys. The first pick that I had, it's a 12-player league, by the way, so 12 other GMs. My first pick, I used it to select Jason Robertson, which is totally fine, great player, 100-point guy. I then selected, in order, Pedersen, Quinn Hughes, JT Miller, Tyler Toffoli, and then as you go down, there was Kuzmenko, McCann, Markstrom, bunch of Canucks guys. I'm believing in my guys, and Devon Levi is a part of that group, so please, Levi, do well this year. Please win me a few games. I'm being very selfish by making this commentary in the way that I am, but I do think there was enough good food for thought there for all the Sabres fans who are tuning in to check out what that AP article says and just kind of review your thoughts. How do you think the season is going to play out for goaltending in the Buffalo Sabres organization? How do you think Devon Levi stacks up against Comrie and UPL? What are your thoughts on Levi's stats this season? And do you think he's actually got a chance to compete for the Calder? Maybe not winning it outright. I'd still say that Bedard has it on lock, followed by Cooley and maybe a guy like Fantilli, but could Devon Levi realistically be a finalist? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.